Hello friends! Information continues to come in about the worsening of the situation for the armed forces of Ukraine in Lyman, Donetsk region. A video appears on the network with Russian military personnel in the city who are unfurling Russian flags, and with strikes by the Ukrainian army on Lyman, which also indicates the presence of Russian forces there. The Ukrainian military resource Deep State also reports that Russian troops have penetrated into Lyman and that battles are underway on the outskirts of the city. He stated, and I quote, "Increased activity on the city has been continuing for a certain time, and given the successes of the Russians in Kostiantynivka, Lyman is becoming an increasingly urgent target. And the quantitative advantage and low density of defensive orders lead to seeping from the side of the enemy, which has long been no news." The message continues. The most active zone of activity and control of the enemy is the red and grey zone of the Serebryansky forest area. There they move, hide, fortify, and from there try to penetrate into the depths. In Lyman itself, as before, activity and recordings persist in the eastern suburb, which is marked in yellow and has a corresponding grey zone. Recordings were also present in the blue zone, but they are not yet systematic, so there are no grounds for a grey zone yet. Also, the Telegram channel writes about a maximally unpleasant situation that is developing near Lyman in the area of Yampil and Ozerne. We hope that the command will pay attention to this sector and take appropriate actions so as not to lose a lot of people, writes Deep State. I will note that Russian military Telegram channels claim that a significant part of Lyman is already under the control of their army. Friends, this channel is my only source of income, but I haven't earned anything from it for a long time. If you like my videos, I ask for your help in supporting the channel. You can apply for sponsorship directly on YouTube or subscribe to me in Patreon, and it's all for the price of a cup of coffee. Please don't let this channel die. Thanks more. The Ukrainian military serviceman with the call sign Muchny writes that the situation in Lyman significantly differs from what is currently happening in the Kostiantynivka direction. According to him, if the appearance of the enemy's flags in Kostiantynivka in most cases already means actual consolidation and the presence of control over a certain sector, then in the area of Lyman everything looks somewhat different. Many such demonstrations have the character of a media dash for reporting, where the enemy tries to show greater successes than in reality. For now, the enemy acts quite cautiously. Its groups advance forward, check sectors, look for weak spots in the defense, and try to create an impression of their own presence. However, they do this maximally carefully so as not to encounter our positions, which are still present in the city and on its outskirts. That is precisely why right now one should not perceive any demonstration of flags as full control over the terrain, writes Muchny. However, the situation should not be underestimated either. The enemy is conducting reconnaissance by combat, forming reports for the command, and gradually preparing conditions for introducing the main forces. If this scenario continues to be realized, then the Lyman area may turn into a real mix with constant penetrations, counterattacks, and a mixed presence of the sides. In such conditions, the line of clash will become blurred, and control over individual quarters will constantly change. At the moment, the situation remains controlled and does not look critical, but all signs indicate that the enemy is conducting preparatory work before more serious actions. That is precisely why already now one should take this scenario into account and prepare for a possible complication of the situation. I think it is precisely the middle of summer that will show the real picture and the true intentions of the enemy in this sector. The current activity so far remains one more of a preparatory stage and a demonstration for the eyes than the full-fledged start of a big operation, Muchny reports. Friends, please do not forget to like and preferably write comments. It is interesting to hear your opinion. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.